guys, welcome back to Just Moms Unfiltered podcast. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to play a game. And I'm your host, Mama Twins.
And my name is Miss IBK. So today we have a pajama party. Yay. You go, girl.
We are feeling like to do something a little bit different today. We want to play a game and ask each other questions, just random fun questions. It's not the typical podcast.
No.
We're feeling like a wine today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are feeling like wine today, so why not?
Why not? Yeah. All right. So basically, it's more of fun things, getting to know each other. We have never actually asked each other some of these questions. And it's also about you getting to know us. We just wanted something easy, fun. And this being International Women's Day this weekend, we just wanted something a bit easy breezy. Okay. All right. So shall we get into it?
Yes, let's go. So you want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
So, Mama Twins, what's the first vacation you ever took and where did you go?
Vacation.
Yes.
Vacation. I think it was Mombasa. When I vacation, I've traveled outside the country, or no, I think it was Mombasa with my back then partner.
Yeah.
And we did a couple's trip to Mombasa. That was my first serious vacation that I did.
Yeah.
Because this was in Ushago. So I don't know if that falls under vacation, but that was the first ever serious, and I enjoyed it. It was Mombasa. Yeah. And you?
Well, for me, I mean, mine was Malindi. That was my first ever vacation. And I also went with my then partner, who happened to be a fiance. So, yeah. Yeah, we went with my then fiance. That was my first vacation. Malindi, yes.
If you could time travel, would you go back in history or into the future, and why?
I would want to go back into the future. Reason being is if there is something I can control, or look at probably some decisions that I might make along the way that would, affect the kind of future that I want, whether good or bad, then I would be able to, to recalibrate and make better decisions. Because I think my biggest fear is failing. Yeah. So if there is any silly decision I might make, or where I might lose track, of myself, or I think I'd want to change that, to change my destiny. Yeah. So how about you?
Me, I would. By the way, the only reason I'd go back in history, is to bring my mom back. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. I long to have a mom. Yeah. I miss her. That's what I long. If I can go back in history. Yeah. And two things. Yes. No, you're Tachoma. You're Tachoma. Because we would like to change the father of my kids.
If only we could do that, but you know what?
Yeah, I would do those two things, to bring my mom back and to change the father of my kids.
Get a better dad, man.
Yeah, a better present, all round dad. Yeah.
If only they came with previews, it would be.
I would go back in time and change that. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. Okay.
Because now I'm living in the future, so this is the future I'm living. So I would go back because now I know what would happen and change that. Okay.
Well. So now that takes me to my next question. Yeah. What is your biggest regret?
Biggest regret?
Because we're talking about changing fathers.
But he knows anyway. So spicy. It's okay. He knows because I've told him. When you are having this, he's my biggest regret. I don't regret my kids, but I regret having him as the father of my kids. If I can change that, then I think I'd be okay. But it's life. We move. We deal with it as it comes.
Okay. All right.
He is. I wish, I wish I knew. Yes. When it comes to him, that's the point I say I wish I knew.
I know. I think for me, it would also be the same. I am so blessed with my kids. I don't know. Part of me feels like it's destiny. However it went, will I change? I think I'd change. I'd look for more present dads.
I wish we were privy to
that.
I wish I knew. Like, you can tell that this is a present father, but when you're with them, you don't even know.
Present, a hands-on dad. It's not just
Providing as well.
yes, a providing dad, someone who shows up for their child, even if you're not together. I mean, that's fine. But someone who actually really is intentional on spending time with their children, someone who's intentional on creating that quality time with their kids, not me involved, and and just being a provider, like lead, be the man, like mentor. For me, for my sons, I would have chosen someone who is a present, someone who actually is present to also call out the man in these young boys. Yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about now having the regrets. This time I was having a conversation with my aunt.
Yeah.
And she told me, because I was like, I was complaining.
Yeah.
And then my aunt told me, God had intended this man to be the father of your kids.
Exactly.
Because, and then she's like, I know you have sex and you've had sex before. And you've had sex before and you never got pregnant. There's a reason why you got pregnant for this man. It's because God intended this man to be the father of your kids. Aki, that thing hit. I was like, okay, you're telling the truth, but if I can just change, I would change. But then again, probably it's a bit of truth, but it is what it is. Yeah, I wish I can change. Or maybe I get where she's coming from as well, because everything aligns, by the way. Everything aligns as to how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. The chips fall there where they need to be. I think for me, now that you mentioned that, I would change. I would actually change how I became with my first child. Because it's something I never want to relive, or I'd never wish on my worst enemy, but I think that for me is the only aspect that I will change, because I love these boys so much. Yeah. And I think that's coupled up with what we mentioned earlier, like how I got pregnant, because my second child was made out of so much love. So I don't regret that at all. It was made out of so much love. I was prepared. With my first one, I will never want to relive that. I think that's the only thing I would change.
That was deep. That question had like a broader aspect of it. What was the biggest challenge of becoming a mother?
The biggest challenge of becoming a mother for me was I didn't know what to do. Like, you're a first-time mom. The other thing is I did not have the manual for it, and I was not prepared to be a mom. So mine came as a shock. You know what? I'm actually pregnant. So for me, I think that was the biggest challenge at the very beginning, and navigating, pregnancy, rejection, all those things. So I think that was the biggest challenge yet, until I started feeling my baby kicking, and I think that's when it actually sank in that, I'm a mom, and I actually embrace whoever I'm carrying, and this little tenants in my bum. So how about you?
I think just like you, just navigating through, it's my first time being a mom. And then the sad part is that, my mom is late, so I don't have anyone to help me go through the whole process. So I was thrown into the deep end, and I had to swim and survive. So I didn't have a referral. I didn't have, so I think that was just navigating through how do you nyonyesha? How do you, when the baby is sick, like, what do you do? Everything that had the motherhood tag on it, I didn't know. There was no referral. Alafu, I'm the firstborn. So sina pa kukimbilia, ni mimi. Today I wake up, we go with the flow. I'm going to go to the hospital, and then we come back and deal with it, And then it's done. And then the next time another challenge comes, and then you just address it head on, because I don't have a referral. I really didn't have a referral. That was the biggest. Like, I didn't have a referral, someone to go to, someone to talk to, someone to take me through, someone to encourage. The mother aspect of it, I did not have. Yeah, that was my biggest challenge. Yeah.
What's the most trouble? This is spicy. You ever got into as a child or as a teen?
Aki, mi nilichapwa. Guy. Mi nilichapwa, yeah, my mom. But I understand where my mom was coming from, because she was so strict, and I think I take after her for that strictness. Nilikuwa tu kichwa ngumu. In all areas. In all areas. Shule, sishiki vitu. I think up until when I got to, like, I think now a proper age, now I started understanding the aspects of life. But nilikuwa tu siski. I was like, nini, like siski, yani sikuwa nasikia. Unajua tu ule mtoto tu mtukutu. Like, I normally select the black sheep of the family. Yani the rebel. Me, hakuna kitu yenye didn't do. Hakuna, except I didn't get pregnant, by the way. I got pregnant at 30. Yeah. So yeah, I held it on. At least I didn't go to my mom's house with a kabe. No, no judging, by the way. We ain't judging. We are not not judging. Because everyone has a story to how they become. It became a mom, so we cannot really actually judge. Yeah, so for me, I was that rebel. Siski, nilichapwa, shule sipiti, adolescent ndio hiyo hapo. Kwanza, I think my worst was when I was 16 years. Yeah. That is when me and my mom butt heads. Proper. And I hated my mom at that time. I was like, this woman does not love me. She's not my friend. I'm looking at other parents, they're friends with their kids. Me, my mom is a warlord over there. So I used to feel like I'm not loved. So anything I do, it's not appreciated. So what the heck? Nayo. But then later on, I came now to later on after, your life happens. Now I started understanding where my mom was coming from. Even became friends, like toward later on. Then she passed on, and then now I started seeing life clearly, like where she really meant she was coming from a place of love, and she didn't want me to make a lot of mistakes that people made, even probably how she made, and she just wanted the best for me. And now that I have kids, I don't even give them breathing space. You just have to be the best. I have to bring out the best in them. Yeah, I cannot allow them to fumble.
My mom was a disciplinarian like me. I think we take a lot of times we mirror. Plus, there's an expectation that you have to show up as perfect. You're setting the bar. I think the biggest trouble for me was because my younger brother would do things and I'd consistently take up the what is it called? Mimi nilikuwa na receive kichapo kwa sababu it's always like, where were you when he was doing this? You should have we should have told him to stop, or you did not do anything. I think my biggest trouble a lot of times was through my brother. I'd get secondhand beating that had nothing to do with me. Yes. So yes, because I was a very disciplined child, and I used to fear just being beaten. I used to fear, as a teenager, I was very open, because if it's about boyfriends or whatnot, I'd also use my mom whenever she'd take my phone away. I'd use her phone. Like, I'd give my two boyfriends, high school boyfriends at the time, my mom's number. So yes, so so that she can they can call. Yes, because now you've taken my phone away. I have friends, and these are things that we openly have conversations about. So for me, I was never a rebel. I was always like this disciplined. So I think biggest trouble ndio hiyo. Na kuna siku niliiba 5 bob nikaenda kununua inaitwaje ukwaju.
Oh, those two.
Yes. That's the deal that used to be sold. So those kanjo schools, and then they would put like mabuyu, ukwaju, ice cream. Actually, that is the biggest trouble I ever got in. Yes. Niliiba 5 bob from my mom's purse, and then I bought. Yes, nilichapwa. Never again. Sikuiba pesa tena.
What's the one thing you'd change about yourself if you could?
Mine would be overthinking. Yo. Every single thing I'll overthink. I will overthink every single thing. Is this a right decision? Is this, I don't know whether it's because as a firstborn, you're expected to be a perfectionist, like perfect and all this. So every single time you're consistently questioning, am I making the right decision? Am I that overthinking? I think for me, that is one thing I would change. And sometimes, I feel like it slows me down when it comes to decision making as well, because you want to make the best decision, and you're trying to vet each and every thought that is coming my way. So, and the one thing I keep telling you is that I admire how you can just do things. For me, I have to plan. Like, yes, spontaneous. That spontaneity is one thing I am looking. I think this year I want to embrace spontaneity kidogo. Yeah, if it's going out on
ikuwe na nini kidogo.
it's under control.
Precaution.
It will definitely have that because being structured, the overthinker and too much structure is that if I'm invited on a date, like you have to tell me prior, all these things. I never do spontaneous.
Okay, for dates I would understand. Even me, I don't do like that. You just thought of me, and then at come to party. Tell me up in advance. But a holiday hivi, just spending on myself. That are like spontaneous. But you just don't wake up and say, I've missed you, I want to see you now.
Let's say I don't do that. And then you have to tell me. I have to plan. I have to clear my calendar. For you. Yes, for you, please. How about you?
Okay, there's a couple that I really struggle with. One, mostly, I overshare.
Babes, me too.
I overshare. But sometimes, like it said, if you want to see some of your things prosper, you have to keep quiet. And then, but me and I'm like, I want to tell my friend, so that we're just together. And sometimes it's your friends that cock block you. One is that oversharing and also overthinking. I overthink, I overanalyze things. And then I think another one is I overgive. I always want to be. I give too much. I give too much.
I pumped my brakes on that one.
I give too much. I try, but I give. It's something that I need to work on. I give too much.
Hey, oversharing. You've mentioned oversharing, and for me, I think it's the one thing. I am learning how to shut up more. Like keep things to myself. But when I am so close to someone, let's say like the way we are friends, I'm like, I need to tell Shazi about this, and this is a good thing that is happening, so why not?
But also at the same time, you're holding yourself back because you're like, God, no, I need it to, I want to see the end of it first before I can overshare. And then there's those people who really feel bad sometimes that why didn't you tell me so that we can do, go through the process together. People sometimes don't understand, and there are some things that you need to go by yourself by yourself. I
think the one thing I'm learning is that even your closest friends, sometimes you think that they is the best intentions, but sometimes how they receive it is different. So for me, it's more of, this year I have really tamed my tongue. I think recently, when I stopped overgiving, because also when you overgive, you also expect, there is an expectation that comes with it, So once I pumped, the moment I turned 30, actually before I turned 30, that's when I started pumping my brakes. On I will mirror the energies that you give. So if you that reciprocity, if there is reciprocity, then I will definitely reciprocate. But I stopped walking the miles, and someone is not walking the mile for me. So that I stopped. Slowly by slowly, since I turned 30, I think oversharing is something that I have slowly bit by bit, started plucking out. What's the one thing you wish you hadn't spent a lot of money on? Madam Shopper.
I have these Cartier sunglasses that I bought for 50 G's. That, at some point, I've had it since 2018. Okay, I like rocking them, but I don't see that. Why did I splurge 50 G's? Yeah, on sunglasses.
Do you wear them often?
You see, because I wear glasses, so it limits me. So unless when I'm doing my contact on, that's when I can drop my sunglasses nicely. My Cartier. You know, I think that would be my other. I end regretting, but it's not so much of a regret. But I think looking back, I would have spent that money on something else, not on sunglasses. Yeah.
Hey, this one involves a man.
You've reminded me again.
Tell me, do tell.
I'm sorry, I have to do this, but I bought a man. But he's my friend though.
Yeah.
I bought him a perfume for 45 G's.
45 G's. Yes. Hey, babes, you're kidogo.
Yes. For 45 G's. I'm sorry, but love you still. But yo. Imagine what? Imagine.
For me, I bought a man. Yeah. Christmas gifts worth 75 G's. 75 G's, okay? And then guess what I got in return? Elizabeth Arden White tea, the 5K. The 5K perfume. Yeah. Okay, do we see? Yeah. 75 G's on the you know the way you don't like somebody's wardrobe or closet and you're like, you know what? Yes. I told you about it. Yeah. My hard-earned money. This person had never spent like 70 that amount of money on a gift on me. Yeah. But then for me, look, penda. Sucker for love. Hey, not again. Never.
By the way, on that note, guys, please send us your stories about how much you spent on a man. Yes. Aki, please share your stories.
What? I mean, I don't mind spending. Okay, as long as you do it. Yeah, I don't mind spending. But you see, I'm buying. This is a Christmas gift. It's not even a birthday gift.
It was a birthday.
It was a birthday. Okay, a birthday is okay.
But me, at the end, buy a kitu ata lollipop. You know. No, but I mean, if you're really a gari, think twice. So, but okay, let me just say, nilirudisha half of that money na fuel ya gari, but still. Just to console myself. That one.
I used to like their wardrobe, and I used to be like, "Oh my God, no, you can't walk with me like that." Because for me, I love, a man who's well put together. You have a nicely groomed beard. But then, changing wardrobe, I went bought a coat. A coat that goes with pants. I bought shoes. I bought never again. Anyway, we live, we learn. Hey, 75.
Because I had to let's check it. We move.
Wait, Elizabeth, Adenia 5K. And then you see, no, okay, I'm not trashing. But the perfume does not last. It's the one that you wear. Yeah. Like I'd wear this perfume to bed. Because honestly, after you have your shower, you're like, okay, let me just, it's okay. Besides.
Do you consider yourself a spiritual person?
Yes, I am very spiritual. Oh yeah, I consider myself a spiritual person and not a religious person. And what I mean by this is I do not subscribe to religiosity. But religiosity is, if you go to Anglican, you'll find them practicing their own doctrines. Yeah. If you go to Wakorinos, you'll find for them practicing their doctrines. Lejo. Maria, they have their own doctrines, yeah. So for me, it's not about the doctrines. Nini mefika kule chini. The church doctrines, or that is what I call religiosity. I don't subscribe to that. I subscribe to spirituality. Yes, so I consider myself a very spiritual person.
The relationship between you and God, is all that matters. It's not even the church that you go to, or you attend, or who's your pastor, or myself too. I'm very spiritual, by the way, very very, like, also coming from a home that is godly and all that. So I consider myself, I wouldn't be where I am today without God. I do not hold any aspect of my life my own achievements. It's all on God. Like, I go back and I sit down, I'm like, I was able to drink wine, it's God, I'm healthy, it's God. I'm able to go to work, it's God. I'm able to do the kind of job that I'm doing, it's God who facilitated that, because there's so many people, graduates and with masters, PhDs, they're not in the place where I am today. It is all God. So for me, I cannot take anything for granted. Even this, us being here and having this platform today, it's God's grace. It's all God. So spirituality for me is top of the mountain, top tier. Cheers to God.
Cheers to God.
Yeah, cheers to God, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, what's the most romantic thing anyone ever did for you?
What was it? Did for me?
Yeah.
Oh. I once had a fiance. Many years ago. So like when he proposed, let me tell you a story. This guy, we're dating back in the days, like 10 years ago. I think Chana. So this guy, actually, when you're young, you're stupid, yeah? You have these two over the top dreams, which sometimes it's good. But at that time, I remember when we were dating, not the father of my kids, now my then fiance, I was like, if you ever marry me, that these things, 5 things that you have to do. If you're going to propose to me, there's this 5 things that you're going to do. You'll go down on your knees. You'll, call all my 3 names. You'll ask because my parents are late anyway from Kitambo. So I have to ask my siblings for their permission and their blessing. So those 5 things. I can imagine this guy did all those 5 things. Imagine he did all those 5 things, and then he proposed to me in front of his mom and dad. Oh, imagine! It was so nice. It was so nice. I know. And then he got to 3 months. It ended as soon as it began. So, mapenzi wewe. If I catch you, I think that was. I really liked that he listened to me. Yeah, he did what I asked, and I was like, no, and he actually did it. He listened to me.
I mean, I think my first proposal was the best. Hey, the second one, Anyway, story for another day. Hey, for me, the most romantic thing someone has done for me, the most romantic. For me, I'm a lover girl. I love being wined and dined. I love a thoughtful man. I love a man who loves on me. So for me, it's just, what would I say, the most romantic? Just the intentionality and the thought that goes into treating your woman. Oh, my God, I'm a sucker for it. So this time, I was having like a bad day. A very difficult season. And my then fiance called and he was like, you know what? I have booked you a vacation to go to Malindi. I'm booking silver palms for you. And, like he'd organized everything. A cab to pick me up to the airport. And from Mombasa now, I also had a cab to take me there. I love Sisa Spa. Like, it was just a thoughtful 2-3 days for me. So I think that is the most romantic thing. And this person was not actually in the country. So they were not in the country. It's not like we were going with them. No. No. He like literally, I'm just because, the just because gifts. It's, hey, I want you to, I don't like your nails, or you have not done your nails in 2 weeks. There you go. There you go. Go do your nails. It's just, you don't have to ask. Yeah, I think for me, those are just those thoughtful, those thoughtful moments. And this is someone, I think this is the reason why I struggle so much in dating. I don't know how to ask. I do not know how to ask. And I love a romantic man. I don't know, is it because I have a track record of lose? So
well, I can't blame my brothers.
I have a track record of dating lures. So a funny thing is, a friend of mine this weekend, they were saying, someone asked them, what is it that I was being asked, like, what is it that I'd like in a man, or rather in a partner that I'm dating? And they said, let me talk about the bread. Yeah, like there's the bread and then there's the sandwich. Like we're talking about a sandwich now. The meats, the lettuce. Before we get to all that, the bread has to be low. So it was so hilarious. It was very hilarious. Yeah. So I am a sucker for just some thoughtful thoughts. And I think for me now, with that, the reciprocity is those ones that you also don't mind splurging also on that person. Yeah. If they do it, why not?
Is there a time you failed at something, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah. I think I failed in so many things. Yeah, I failed in so many things. But again, okay, we're asking about one thing. I'm trying to think about one major thing. Okay, this one is deep. When I thought of myself becoming a mother, I never envisioned myself like becoming a mom and having my mom help me raise my child at some point. So I always envisioned myself becoming a mom and having, a family, I'm married and all this, and I'm living with my child, never having a child outside marriage. So when I got my son, things became very thick. And at some point I had to, I remember my mom calling me and telling me, hey, you know what, Ivy, just bring your son and get yourself back on your feet. And I remember that was the lowest moment. And I felt like I had failed myself. I had failed my child because now he was not with a mother and was missing out on milestones. For example, the big L, I did not see his first steps. Yeah. Because at 7 months, that's when I had to take him to my mom. I could barely feed myself. Literally, I breastfed my son up until he was 7 months because I could not even afford matoke. That 5 shillings. You see, those okwa jahazi that you have those days for 5 bob. You get 5 bob, you're thinking of what you can eat. It was really, really difficult times, yeah? And through that time, having the decision to part with my son and take him to live with my mom, or for my mom to just, to allow, we talk about circles and allowing someone to carry you. Yeah. I am grateful that she was there and she told me, you know what, just bring him. He's fine. I raised you. You'll be fine. It's just a matter of time before you get back on your feet and you're able to take back your child. And in that moment, I felt like I had failed my baby. And it was such an emotion. I was so down. I was so down. And yeah, later on, months later, I was able to, God is gracious because I was finally able to get back on my feet through the struggle. And I remember at the time I would sleep on the floor in a mattress. It was a very difficult time for me. And I'd miss my child. I remember in those moments I'd take my son because it got to a point where I'd leave. I lived with a friend. She hosted me. I lived with a friend and I'd take my son just for a weekend, anakuja tumelalia mattress chini. During that time, at least nimeza kununua ata diaper. I could not buy these things. Like it was, mali tumetoka, and yeah, I was finally able to get myself out of that. And I think for me right now, when I reflect back, and this is just an encouragement to anyone, any mom, any dad, any parents, if you feel like your season is so low or you failed, because sometimes you feel like you failed yourself, you are, I am a failure. You feel like I have failed my child, I failed my wife, I failed my husband, I failed my family. In those moments, don't allow yourself for that to be your reality or define you. You know, God changes and turns situations around. Number one, put your trust in God. Number two, do what you can to try and get yourself out of that. And sometimes it takes time. And this is what I say. This is the analogy that I give you. There are people who will finish high school and secure an A, and they get, directly umenda university. You don't even have to sweat to be called to a university. And this is what I mean by everybody's journey is different. And while at it, you need to give yourself grace. There's someone who finish and they get a straight A and they're called and they pursue whatever they want. There's someone who will get probably a C plus and you have to go through parallel. There's someone else who will get a D or an E. And they'll have to go do a repeat, try and get a better grade, or they do a certificate. From that certificate, they fail again. They go back and do it again. They go from that certificate, they pass, they do a diploma. From that diploma, they probably do. And from diploma, you go to degree. From degree, you go to master's. It's everybody's path is different. So you need to allow yourself a lot of grace. And I am just grateful for support systems that are there for us and everyone, because we all need it. We all need it. If you can be that person for someone, please be. Please do whatever you can. Extend acts of kindness. And I think for me, whenever I do something, and this became my policy, whenever I do something, I never want to be repaid. The one thing I always say is, please pay it forth in kindness, because someone was once kind to me. Pay it forth in kindness. Whenever, even with my nannies, if I do something good for them, and they're like, oh, Mama El, nitakulipa Jane, I'm always like, you know what? Don't do it. Because in those moments, nimefua nguo. I washed clothes to be able to afford just a meal. And I'm getting emotional because I look at right now and I reflect back on their journey, and I'm just so grateful that when we think, I think in previous episodes we've talked about, we always have the hope that tomorrow will be good. But when you're going through it in the moment, you don't see it. You never see it. And this is just an encouragement to a mother, to a parent out there. I once nilikalisha mtoto wangu wa 3-4 months chini. And I washed somebody's clothes so that I could be able to put food on the table for myself, so that I can be able to breastfeed this child and to be able to pay rent. And that is why, for me, I treat my house managers with so much kindness. Okay, because I have been there. And sometimes the difference between you and the person who you feel is not there yet is just the situation and timing. It's just the situations and timing. So that is a moment I felt that I had failed. But I was able, and I think that really refined my grit. It refined my grit. It made me realize that I am very resilient. I would never have known that had I not become a mother. It teaches us things about ourselves. So that's it.
Wow. What can I add? It hurts. It hurts as moms that we have to go through these things by ourselves, and someone somewhere is busy having their life, and only God. That's why they say, only a mother's blessings, it's what carries us through, and only God knows how to repay mothers. Only God knows how to repay mothers. Hata when also people say hakuna kama mama, hakuna kama mama, and thank you for sharing your story and encouraging. I'm broken because I know exactly what you went through, and it's not easy.
I look forward to sharing my story sometime. And the one thing that I say is, sometimes we feel shame Yeah. Sometimes we feel shame, and it used to be like something I'd wear. Yeah. But, God, and this is what I say, Jesus died on the cross. When I come from, I was raised in church, and I was serving in church by the time I became a child. And, there's a lot of shaming that comes from, you've gotten a child out of wedlock. There's a lot of chats or conversations going around from your friends to family to all this of how you failed. Even expectations from your from your sometimes parents, where you'd be told, you know what, you've disgraced me as a parent, know. But the one thing that I say is, whatever Jesus went through on the cross, the shame that he endured on the cross, like, this is the Lord's, and you're being told, save yourself. You call yourself savior. How about you save yourself, So there was a lot of shame. And right now, I think I'm very grateful for this platform, because I look forward to sharing my story in depth. And this is something I have struggled,
You've been sharing your story, and I've noticed something. Our producer behind the scenes was just crying as much as you're crying. So I think our next, we will invite her to tell her story. Because, I was just holding my tears, but I was feeling the pain. I'm looking at her. She's just there dead, crying, a river of tears. But it goes to show how moms are really going through it outside here. It goes to show that there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about outside here for moms. And this is a platform. We've created this platform for you to share, and it's okay. We listen, we don't judge here. So you can, come forward with your stories. Don't forget, again, come forward with your stories. Write to us on Just Moms Unfiltered on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and Just Moms Unfiltered on YouTube as well. You can follow us, like, share, and follow us as well on YouTube. Yeah.